Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Adam. It is Tiny Housin, volume 37. And it's a day of no cycling for once. And you're about to watch a video that was recorded sometime last week. I'm really behind on... Instead of giving you 5-hour videos, I'm giving you shorter videos distributed whenever I can. So I just uploaded video 37, so this will be video 38. If I said 37, I meant 38. You can see Tiny House is a little bit more organized than the last time I shot one of these opening intro videos. I got a stack of clothes to put away. I just wanted to get them off the floor. I keep a couple of tripods hanging out because I'm going to start shooting more videos and more interesting stuff. And so I got a couple of tripods just hanging out in different spots. There's one tucked away in there. And I'm going to start figuring out what I want to do to get everything, moving along, I guess. I'm gonna move this video over to my archives on the computer, this intro video, and then I'm gonna splice it together with video number 37. But you can see things coming along. I still don't have hot water. It's supposed to happen. Now they're telling me it was supposed to happen yesterday. So once again, I got told a date and it was shoved off. But supposedly now this time it's going to happen Thursday. I guess they're waiting for something to come out from Amazon. I don't know what. I don't even care. It's supposed to be happening Thursday, which is tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow I'll get a hot shower. And then a week from tomorrow you'll hear about it. But in these little intro videos, I forget to shoot them as I'm... basically, you see the format lately is sitting in a chair and talking. Because I'm shooting the videos when I have... when I'm either... I just woke up and I'm trying to wake up to the world, or I'm pretty much shot out for the day and I got no more energy left, but I can sit and talk for a minute. That's what I'm doing right now to keep videos coming up to YouTube, and it's all I have the energy or the time for. Today I'm trying to burn through a to-do list of things I couldn't even get done yesterday. I've made some progress there, but I'm going to take a break here and there to upload a video. I got a good little rhythm for it, so as long as I'm sitting in front of a computer, I may be uploading 3 or 4 videos in the next 24 hours. I'm just gonna do it in a cyclical rhythm where I compile the video, I export it, I upload it, create a thumbnail image, and boom, let it go live. And I'll just do that as I have time, but I might have to skip a few days. Once I start doing the bicycle, the bakery bicycle blitz, then I'm gonna be back to not having any energy. So that'll be this Friday. That's 2 days from now. So over the next couple of days, you might see a bunch of videos pop up, and then you might not see any for a few days. So we'll see if I get caught up. But I'm trying to keep the length of the videos. I don't like the 5-hour videos either. And I'm not doing it. I'm not shortening these up because people told me to. I'm doing it because I don't like doing it. It takes a long time to export it from Premiere. It takes a long time to upload a 5-hour video. There's a whole bunch of reasons why I don't want to keep doing that. So I'm just going to try and keep them. They're turning out to be about an hour, give or take, when I sit down and talk. And so that's what I'm going to do. Next time you might see a bare table here, an empty table with no clothes on it. You might see the bed made a little better. You might see the floor a little bit cleaner. You might see less dishes over here. These 3 days that I don't ride the bicycle, they lend themselves pretty well for me to get this place back in order. And now, I'm past that hurdle of them doing the ceiling work and trashing the place and giving me huge messes to clean. So last Sunday was very productive in terms of getting a bicycle. I got my Red Rocket completely tuned up. I put new brake pads on, put new brake cables on, did some other maintenance work that had been put off for years. So that bike is in way better shape than it's ever been in years. The other bike, the Silver Bullet, the Specialized, that's fully ready to go now. I rode it to work and back. You'll see a couple of clips regarding that. I do want to get my helmet camera figured back out, but people keep wanting to see the bike ride. And there's two issues with that. The first issue is when it sits on top of my helmet, you can see I've already got this light attached to my helmet. And when I mount a camera right here, that helmet gets really lopsided and it doesn't sit well. And I feel that when I'm biking. It sucks. And the helmet sits on my head crooked. I can't get it to go straight. It's really not my favorite helmet in the world. It's not the worst helmet I've ever owned, but I went for the cheap helmet. I got the cheapest helmet at the bike shop, and I probably should have spent 20 or 30 bucks more because that's kind of an important thing. I could have got a helmet that fits better. The front to back fits perfect, but the side to side is a bit much. And the straps, I don't like the straps on that helmet. And so it's a bit lopsided. It's not quite right. I'm tempted. I don't have the money right now, but I'm tempted to go get a better helmet I'm tempted to go get a different helmet at some point. But right now, that's the helmet I got. It's painful. It's a painful process to videotape my rides. I've got a few different GoPro cameras, and I've got the helmet mount for them. The other situation or the other problem is how long does a battery last? I don't think that a GoPro battery for the GoPro Hero 4, which is what I've got one GoPro Hero 3 and I've got 3 GoPro Hero 4 cameras. Bought them on Craigslist. It was a package deal. Someone had 4 GoPro cameras and a whole box of accessories for dirt cheap years ago. And I bought, for a couple $100, I got 4 video cameras and a whole bunch of doodads and equipment to connect them. And I've used them here and there, but I've never really got heavy into that stuff. And so I know exactly where they are. The batteries, if they're not charged, I have the ability to charge them really fast. I can charge 3 at a time. So it's not that big of a deal. It's not that hard to mount the camera to the helmet, and it's not super hard to get the videos off of the camera onto my computer. I have a huge SD card that holds tons of video for that purpose. But getting a video, I don't think that, first of all, I think if I hit the record button on the GoPro and start riding my bike to the bakery, it's not going to last the entire ride. So you'll get to see some of the ride, but you're not going to see the entire 20 miles. I would be hard-pressed to believe that one of those batteries will last that long. That's one drawback of a GoPro camera. The batteries for the Hero 4, at least, don't last a long time. They have pretty shitty longevity. So I have 3 batteries, but I'm not going to be pulling out. I'm not going to be checking. There's no way for me to know what's happening with the camera once I put the helmet on my head. There's no way I can see what the camera's doing or what's going on. And there might be a setting where I can hear a beep, 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 or something like that when the camera's about to shut off. That would be my only indicator that something's up with the recording. I listen to music on my way in, so I wouldn't be able to play the audio for you guys because YouTube will whack me with copyrights. And if I play an hour's worth of my playlist, I'm not going to put a bunch of royalty music on my boombox and listen to a bunch of crappy ass free music just so that there's music in the background. So it would be a silent bike ride with no, I mean, maybe I could suck it up and talk to you guys while I ride. I don't know. I don't even know how that would turn out. I would have to experiment with that. It's something I think I should do because I talk about biking all the time. And I talk about a lot of this stuff. But there's a reason why I took the camera off my helmet and stopped recording my rides to and from. And it has mostly to do with A, the pain in the ass factor is a little bit high. And B, the weight of the camera on my head makes the helmet flop around and it's not comfortable. And for 20 miles, that would not be fun. Now, there are better cameras out there that are even smaller and more low profile than a GoPro. And they have either built-in memory or the micro SD card slot, and they're like self-contained in terms of a battery. There are different options there. There's the Click 360 camera that you see. There's a lot of new image stabilization cameras out there that won't be as shaky. There's definitely some options out there, but all those things cost money. So I'm going to use what I have. But you never know. In the next week, I might just, like maybe Sunday, I'll have enough time to mess around and pull out the GoPro system and see what I can do. I'll have, I'll be able to take a full battery in the camera and 2 extra batteries with me. So even if I don't get the entire ride, I can certainly film enough of it to make an hour-long video out of it and then just talk to you guys in the background while the video's playing or something like that. I don't know. I know a lot of you have expressed interest in wanting to see that. What the ride is very interesting between here and the bakery, that's for sure. Like I keep saying, there's 4 distinct segments to this ride, and I think that makes it interesting for me because I'm riding the same route every day because the way Houston is laid out as a city, there's no other way to do it. You're pretty much stuck going, there's a couple of small variations that I can make. As I'm in the woodlands, there's a couple of different ways that I can zig and zag to get to where I'm going. And I have made some adjustments to my route to try and take the more peaceful, quiet streets. And I've got it pretty much nailed down how I want to do it. But it is the same exact ride over and over and over again, and it gets kind of old. But the fact that it's 4 distinct rides helps make it a little more tolerable. There's the ride between here where I live and this bicycle trail along Spring Creek, and that is about a 5-mile segment. Takes about 20 minutes, and give it 15, 20 minutes or so. And there's a lot of traffic on that road, but it's outside of the woodlands. And I find that the drivers on these roads here where I live they're not that douchey compared to the douchebags that live in the woodlands. So I don't get honked at as much. I don't have as many issues out here where I live. And it's just a matter of you're moving from the suburbs into the actual city of Houston. And I always talk about this transition where the douchebags in the suburbs are they're the psychotic nut jobs on the road, and they're fucking insane. And they scream at you, throw things at you, try to run you off the road. They're hostile, really hostile towards cyclists. But then you get in the city, it's totally different. It's just everybody's chill. And you can ride in peace, relative peace and comfort. You just got to pay attention and, don't get hit. And if you're going to, it's the same thing as when you're driving in the city is what I mean. Like, watch where you're going and, watch what the other people are doing because you don't want to get in an accident. But you don't have to worry so much about the hostility. The second part of my ride is about a 5 or 6 mile segment, another 20-minute ride on a bicycle trail, mostly on a bicycle trail, and then it dumps you out into this Fairly uppity residential neighborhood, but it's definitely older than the Woodlands, and it's the houses are smaller. They seem like they're better built. And then there's a couple of little rich McMansion plexes nearby, but you ride through a residential neighborhood that looks like it has a shitty homeowners association, but it looks a lot older than these McMansion developments that you see everywhere now. And so that's a 6 mile stretch. It's very quiet. It's very peaceful. It's a nice stretch on my way into work. It's the one that I look forward to the most because it's just chill. I know I can just relax and have a good time. The third stretch on my way into the bakery is this psychotic nut job road that's basically, it's kind of bad on the south side of Spring Creek, but when you cross over this big long bridge that goes over Spring Creek, you're now in the Woodlands. In fact, there's an exact intersection that when you cross it, there's a big, fancy rich asshole sign that says, "Welcome to the Woodlands." Or it doesn't even say welcome. These assholes would never say welcome to you. They're just the Woodlands. You see this big sign that says the Woodlands. And when you cross that sign, you can rest assured that everybody on that road is out to kill you. And you're going to get into fights, and you're going to have problems when you cross that intersection and you're officially in the Woodlands. You're officially surrounded by all the douchebags in Houston. The biggest douchebags in town all live here. And so that stretch from when you cross into the Woodlands and get to where I'm working, that's about a half-hour stretch. The roads are a little bit more chill than the first and the third stretch because it's more kind of a residential neighborhood. The speed limits are slower. A lot of the roads do have shoulders through the Woodlands, and there are cycling paths that you can take. They kind of suck, and they're a lot slower than the road, so I don't usually take them. But if I need a break or if I just want to chill for a minute, I'll take one or two. I'll take them from time to time. But it's the worst part of the ride. The third part is the worst part of the ride because the road, when you first enter the Woodlands, is a pretty busy road. But as soon as I turn off of that road, the roads are a little less trafficked. And so it's not like there's people, the speed limits are slow, and people usually have enough room to pass that they're not going to throw a big temper tantrum when they're passing me. And so it's not, it's definitely an interesting ride, and I'd like to show it to you at least once. So we'll see what happens, but I'm going to stop recording, and I'm going to splice this with the other video and push another one up. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Adam. It is Tiny Housin, volume 38. And I ain't got much to talk about in regards to living in a tiny house. This 40-mile bicycle commute is killing me. It's like, how do I put it? I don't really feel it until I come home and sit down for a few minutes. Now, today I came home. I got home about 10 after 6. I had a really fast ride home. My fitness is improving. I'm getting faster and faster on the bicycle. Strava told me today, they're like, holy shit, dude. The AI bot for Strava, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but the thing was like, holy shit, dude, you went the fastest you've went in a while. And I was going into the wind. Generally, I mean, the wind wasn't really strong, but I was going into the wind. I didn't have a tailwind on the way home, and I broke the record. I broke my personal best record on 6 different segments on my way home, and I think it was an hour 10. No, it was like an hour. It was 10 minutes faster than my normal I don't give a crap time where I'm really not hammering down and trying very hard is about an hour and a half. Hour 10 I think is my fastest time where I was like balls to the wall, putting effort into it. Today it was an hour 20 and I wasn't even trying. Um some things about today were interesting. Um Before I left, I said all the prayers that, today would be a good day, everybody gets along, all that kind of stuff. I've been talking about that for a few, and it worked again. Like, it makes a noticeable difference when I ask God to just make the day go smooth and to make it good for everybody. We all get along, we all have a good time, there's no drama, there's no bickering or, none of that. And it's not like the job is full of anything like that, but, you know, there are days that I've gone to this job and come home really irritated about whatever. And I'm telling you, when I pray about it beforehand and just ask Him to keep that at bay, He does. It works. I'm telling you it. It's crazy. It's not crazy because that's what God tells us to do, and you shouldn't be surprised when it works. So I did that this morning. Oh my God, how did I forget about this? Okay, so on my way in this morning, I'm just gonna give a recap of the day, and it'll probably prompt some topics to come out of my mouth. So I said the prayer this morning. There was another prayer I said last night. It's supposed to rain the entire weekend. It rained really hard on Thursday, all day long. On and off, but hard. Like hard enough that it was, when you have a metal roof on your building that you're living in, especially in a tiny little cabin like this, metal roofs are great for a number of reasons, but one thing they really suck at is noise dampening. In fact, they amplify. If you have a rain, this is any metal roof building that you've ever been in. If it rains really hard, the metal roof will amplify that significantly. It gets loud in here when it rains. So yesterday, all day long, it was raining on and off, but hard. And it's supposed to rain Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that was on Thursday. And when I went to bed last night, I looked at the radar, and there was this huge blob of rain headed straight for Houston. A huge blob of rain north of Houston. Like the whole area was just covered in rain, according to the radar map. Enough that I was expecting that at some point in the middle of the night I was going to wake up to the sound of rain on the roof. And like, it doesn't necessarily wake me up out of a sound sleep, but I will wake up throughout the middle of the night at some point, and if it was raining I would hear it. And so I was expecting that. When I woke up this morning, I was like, I didn't hear the rain all night. And this morning I'm like, where's the rain? And because I had asked God last night before I went to bed, I was like, please, God, I'm so not looking forward to getting drenched on the way into this job. I'm like, the way it was raining on Thursday, I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be a torrential downpour for 20 miles. And it's supposed to rain all day Friday, all day Saturday. Today's Friday. Oh my goodness. So, anyway, I wake up, I look at the radar map, and that blob that's headed straight for Houston is still sitting in the same spot and it hasn't moved. And little wisps of it are coming up into Houston, but they're dissolving because you hit the play button and it shows you what's been happening over the last couple of hours. And these blobs keep coming up to Houston and then dissolving before they get up to where I live. And it just keeps over and over and over and over. Like the whole night, it was just kind of coming this way, but then it would just dissolve and go away before it got to where I live. And it just kept doing that and doing that. And so I'm like, okay, I'm getting ready for work. I'm like, please, God, can you help me? Like, I'm just like, hey, Jesus said if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can tell a mountain to move and it will obey you. You can cast a mountain into the sea. And so I don't even think my faith is as big as a mustard seed, but I'm telling you, it did not rain. When I went out to get on when I grabbed my bike to do the bike prep this morning, it was like it was dry. I could tell it hadn't rained all night. I grabbed the bicycle, brought it into the tiny house, prepped it, put the lights on, all the things I got to do. And I'm like thinking, I'm looking at, and it's like there's little blobs headed towards Houston, and I'm looking at the timing of it. I'm like, yeah, it's probably going to miss me. It may or may not. Anyway, I'm like, well, you got to go, you got to go. So I get on the bike, but I didn't put on a raincoat. I didn't put the cover on the backpack. And I just took off. And I get on the bike and I start riding, and I decided that instead of hitting play on the pod, so I had the speaker that sits on my handlebars has a play button. So I can queue up the podcast or the music that I want to listen to, but I don't have to I can play it whenever I want to kick it off. Within a reasonable amount of time. After a while, the speakers will shut off because there's nothing. Exhausted. The speakers will shut off after a period of inactivity. But I hadn't hit play yet to listen. I queued up a podcast, but I hadn't hit play. I'm not even a mile into my ride, and I get to a major intersection, and this big giant pickup truck pulls up next to me, and the guy rolls down the window, and I'm like, you motherfucker. I'm already like, here we go. And this guy, he rolls down his window, and he looks at me, and he goes, I just wanted to tell you, man, you're one badass motherfucker. And I'm like, thanks. I look at him, I'm like, I didn't know what to do. I'm like, thanks. All right. And I'm like, I'm dumbfounded. And so I'm like, I really didn't know. I thought I should have said something more creative back to him, but that totally threw me off guard. I was literally expecting to get into a verbal fight with this guy, and he's just like, just wanted to let you know you're a badass motherfucker, man. And I'm like, I said thanks, and I look over, and then I'm like, I look back at him, and I'm looking at traffic, and the light was red, but the light for the cross traffic had turned red, so I'm gonna make the dash before the light. I don't even know what light turns green next, but I'm like, I'm going to make the dash through the intersection. And I look over and I'm like, hey, you have a good day, man. And he yells out the window. He's like, you too, brother. You too, brother. And he like rolls up his window and takes off down Route 45. And I'm going through the intersection before the next light changes. Where I don't care what direction it's coming from. I'm getting through the intersection before shit gets crazy. But the whole rest of I was like, wow, that really set off the day. That was a good start for the day. And it's not raining. The streets are dry. The roads are dry. It's like 70 degrees. Beautiful. Temperature wise, it's awesome. And so I start riding and I decide. I used to do this thing when I was in prison where I would go out and walk on the outdoor track, 6:30 in the morning, right after breakfast. Sometimes I wouldn't even go eat breakfast. I would just go to the gym slash rec area. They would call, each little dorm in the prison is locked until certain parts of the day. So it's kind of like being in the shittiest high school slash college campus that you could possibly imagine. And at different times of the day, they'll unlock all the doors, and you have, it's just like high school. You got like 4 minutes to get from one class to the next, go to your locker and get to your next class or get to the cafeteria or wherever it is you're trying to go. So you go, they open up the doors in the morning, you go to breakfast, and you have a certain amount of time to wolf down some food and make it back to the dorm before they lock all the doors. You can go to the gym. Sometimes you can go to the library. Everything opens at different times, but the gym would usually open at the same time as the chow hall. So you could go wolf down some food and then make a beeline for the gym before they shut and lock all the doors. And if the gym has an out, you go through the gym to get to the outdoor yard. And so I would just go down there. That was my zen place for the morning because nobody feels like going. You'd go out to that track to go walk around outside that early in the morning. You could watch the sunrise, in December and January. Well, you could watch the sunrise. And there would be very few people outside. You'd be by yourself. You could walk. It's a 1/4 mile track. You could just walk. And so one thing I would do is I would take, I would count on my hands. And I would start the day off with, I got to just come up with 10 things to be thankful for today. And I would thank God for these 10 things, whatever they were. They could be the same 10 things every day. It could be the same 10 things 10 days in a row, and then maybe something new comes along, and I'm thankful for something new, and it's different one day. But today, I could just kind of buzz through it. I was thankful for the temperature because it was warm. I didn't have to wear a coat or nothing. I was thankful that it didn't rain. I was thankful for the dude that rolled down the window and said that. And I was thankful for things like, my good health. Because if I wasn't in good health, how the hell am I going to ride a bicycle 20 miles to a job, 20 miles back from a job, and bust my ass for 8 hours standing on my feet and doing physical labor? If I'm not in that great of health. My weight is just shit right now. Every time I see a picture of myself, I'm like, man, you're a fat piece of shit. You gotta figure this out. When I got out of prison, I was 20 pounds less than I am right now. But since I got to Houston, I'm stuck. And it's because of these giant fucking cookies. It's the bottom line. I could ride 100 miles a day, but you eat you eat a cookie at this place and you're done. You're done for the day. And somebody today was like, well, why do you eat the cookies? And I'm like, well, they're here. That's why. They're right here. Like, why am I gonna say no to that? A giant. Oh no, please. Oh, don't put this 1,400 calorie gigantic 6-inch wide chocolate chip cookie in front of me and expect me not to eat it. Oh my god. So, of course, yeah. I will say that I'm at the low there's been an ebb and flow since I moved to Houston. The weight goes up, the weight goes down. Right now, I'm at the bottom of that trench. Like, I am 1.2 pounds heavier today than the lightest I've weighed since I moved to Houston. And that 1.2 pound difference was when I was sick for 3 days. I literally didn't eat for 3 days. I laid on a couch. I was so sick to my stomach I could hardly drink water. And it got to the point where I started to drink water, but I would just go throw it back up. But for 3 days, I didn't eat. And for the first day and a half, I don't think it was rough. That was a rough, and so many people around me got, like, I wasn't the first one to get it. Neighbors were getting it. Kids in school. This was like some bug that went around. This felt like food poisoning at first. It felt just like food poisoning at first. But then the way people were getting sick and the way it transferred around and went, it traveled. A lot of people were getting this. People in different cities were getting it. Like, it was transferring around Houston and New Orleans and other places. Like, it found its way around. A lot of people got this. I was knocked out. 3 days, I got down to 216 pounds. To right now, I was just weighed myself a little while ago, and it was 217.2. But the day I got out of prison, I was 200. I got myself down to 200. When I went to Club Fed, because of the 14, 15, 16, so I spent 16 months confined indoors, unable to go outside at all. Well, very limited. 14 months without seeing the sun or a fucking tree. And then 2 months of kind of getting to go outside for an hour here and there. And then a month of not being able to go outside at all. And then for 4 months being able to go outside. And it's not a huge outdoor area, but when you've been confined in a cage for 14 months and then you get to go and walk on a 1/4 mile long track, that's a pretty profound fucking thing. So anyway, I pretty much lived in that gym for 4 months. I had gotten up to 240 pounds on the date that I was sentenced. The first time I could weigh myself on a scale somewhere, I was 240 pounds. And then at the Club Fed, they had a scale that you could use anytime you want, like a gym quality scale. And so I weighed myself every single day around the same time. And I got myself down to 200 pounds in 4 months, 40 pounds in 4 months. And so when I came out of prison, I was feeling thin. My clothes all fit loose. I was actually 20 pounds lighter than when I was arrested. In fact, I was the same as I am right now when I got arrested. But right now, ever since I got to Texas, it's like my body just wants to hold right here. It doesn't matter what I do. But I have a feeling if I have to keep up this cycling routine for another month, I'm actually going to see a 10-pound drop. Because it's starting to have that, especially with the warm weather hitting, that's going to have a significant impact. So I would love to get down to 200 again. There's like an exact weight. I'm not kidding. There's an exact weight where people look at me different. I'm just going to get it. The ladies, they pay more attention. If I'm above 212 pounds, the girls don't want to give me a time of day. If I'm under 212, all of a sudden I'm batting them off. Like, get the fuck out. Go away. Go away. And the same thing happened in Jamestown. Like, this is something that I started to observe in my 30s, like in my early 30s. I would get down, I would literally, because my weight fluctuates like crazy. There's a couple of times in my life I've been 240, but I can get down to like 180. And it just goes around in a cyclical, it just depends on how much it melts right off when doing this kind of stuff. The cycling honestly would have burned off a lot more in the last couple of months if my job wasn't riding to a bakery eating these giant cookies. Honestly, like that's, and there's other things, stress, just eating bad because I live in this tiny house. I don't have the ability to cook. Like somebody today was like, somebody just, because I don't really like talking about my personal life at work, even though you could look it up on YouTube and hear all of it. But I swear, nobody at that. I don't talk about it. I don't bring it up. I don't think anybody's ever Googled my name at that place because you'd find some shit if you did. I would know if they did because we're all comfortable enough around each other that if I walked in, there would be a look on people's face and it would tell me right away, oh, they typed my name into Google, didn't they? Well, they haven't. And so somebody at work today was like, well, why don't you just put it in the oven? And I'm like, fucking god damn. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I just changed the subject because I want to get into the whole discussion of I don't have an oven. Like, it's not like everything's so fucked up in my life right now that, like, why don't you have an, I don't want, you don't have an oven? What the fuck kind of a place did you move into? Why did you, and all that, I don't want that. I don't even want to open that can of worms. They'll just come flying out like one of those peanut brittle snakes with the spring where you pop the lid off and the thing just goes boom and flies out. I don't even want, so I'm very like, any conversation that could even start to go down that road, I just change the subject. I just move on. Ever I don't ever want to get in a conversation about, oh yeah, by the way, I went to federal prison for 2 years because I said mean things on Twitter and I ended up homeless for 6 months, came down here to Houston to live with my best friend, and now I make $10 an hour working in a bakery when I used to make $150,000 a year working as a software designer. And, like, that's, who the fuck wants to have that conversation at work? So I don't. And so anyway, where was I going with this? So I'll just stop this tangent and go back to where I was on the way in this morning. Roads were dry, no rain, a few little drops, like just I'm in the tropics, it's a tropical climate, so there was just a little bit of like little drops hitting me on the way in, couple of drops on the phone screen, because I've got this clamp on my handlebars that holds the phone for me. But I'm just, eventually I did the 10 things that I'm thankful for. I honestly don't remember all 10 things, but they were, they were all along the lines of what I was, starting to tell you about. And then I hit the play button on the podcast and just chilled out. I noticed that the sun came up a little earlier because each day the sun comes up a few minutes early. But when you skip a couple of days, well, it was Monday was the last time I rode in that early in the morning. Tuesday I had to go for a bike ride, but it didn't start until noon. And so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days later, I noticed a difference because I leave at the same time every morning, and generally I'm at the same places at the same time. And so I noticed the sun starting to come up while I was on the 6 mile bicycle trail, where last week, or when we switched the clocks back, or whatever the hell we did, spring forward. Yeah, my body's acclimatized to that now, but can we just fucking leave the clocks alone? But anyway, when we sprung forward, but now it's dark and it stays dark all morning, whatever happened, the sun wasn't coming up until well after the 6 mile bicycle trail. Today, the sun came up about halfway through the 6 mile bicycle trail to where I could start turning lights off. So I would say like another month might go by and I'll get to the point where I don't need to deck out the bicycle with lights that early in the morning. And that would be nice. So I ride my bike and no rain the whole way. No rain. Just little droplets here and there, but nothing to even think about. I kept forgetting that it was Friday because I don't know what's going on here in Houston, but there was almost no traffic today anywhere. Not the typical weekday traffic, the rush hour weekday traffic that you see normally. It felt like Saturday. It was a ghost town. And I'm like, is this some sort of like yuppie holiday where all the 9 to 5 office workers take a long weekend because they get Monday? Is there like some holiday on Monday that I don't know about? That because a lot of these, like, you get like what is it? Do you get Monday off for Martin Luther King Day, or I don't know, whatever, these random holidays where you get a Monday off? The commuters will almost always take the Friday off before it, so they get the four. It's like you get a 4 day vacation, but you only burn one vacation day out of your bank. So you'll notice in cities all over America that, like, the bank holiday that's on Monday, the roads will be barren on Friday. Like Memorial Day weekend. You always get a Monday off for that. And Labor Day weekend, you get the Monday off for that. So people always take Friday off the week before. So you get that 4 day weekend, but you get a 4 day break. You only lose one vacation day out of your bank. But it results in the roads being it's like a ghost town everywhere you go. And so that's what it felt like today. So the whole day I kept thinking it's Saturday, and every time I realized, oh, fuck, it's Friday, which meant I have to do this again tomorrow. But it was weird today. Business was slow at the bakery a lot, but then we had a lot to do today. But we got to a point in, like, they were going to send me home a couple hours early, but they gave me the option to stay. And I was like, you know what? I'll stay. Because I was looking at the rain, and it was raining on and off throughout the day. And I'm checking the radar, and I'm trying to, like, if they're going to send me home early, like, I was kind of like betting on it. I'm like, because I was starting to think that they were going to send me home early, because I was like, this is prime, hey, Adam, go home situation. So I'm like, all right. I'm looking at the radar, and I'm like, if they send me home at 2, there's this blob of rain heading straight for us. I'm gonna get caught right out. I'm gonna get prime time. I'm gonna get dumped on. So I'm like, I'm gonna stay. Because I was like, there are benefits to going home early, even though I'm not gonna get paid for my whole day. But I'm like, there are benefits to going home early sometimes, but today I was like, no, I'm staying. Well, as soon as the two people left that had the authority to send me home, we got busy. And it was like busy, busy, busy right up until the minute I left. And it was like busy, busy. I was running around like crazy getting things done. And I was like, I looked at the person who was, I was like, aren't you glad I didn't leave? And she was like, yeah. But it is a very unpredictable business. You cannot, the crowds, they come and go. It's almost like it's almost like, what's that CIA? My mind is shot right now. The CIA program where they, not where they program the killers to go out and why can't I think of this? Like I'm a freaking my tinfoil hat's malfunctioning right now. I can't think of the damn name of something that I swear I just read like 10 things about it today while I was taking a nap. And after I woke up, what the hell? You know, like Stranger Things, the girl with the nosebleeds, that basically she was, that's basically what they do. Um, that's killing me that I can't think of the damn. I almost want to hit the stop button on this video and go look up the damn thing that I'm trying to talk about. But it's basically like when the CIA programs people to behave a certain way or to go out and do something like murder the president or whatever, and you're under like mind control. That's insane that I can't think of the. Maybe the CIA did something to me today, so I can't tell you guys the word that. Wow, that's messed up. That's messed up. I've been a tinfoil hat nut job since 1995, and that's like basic bitch conspiracy theory 101, and I'm like, can't think of it. But that just tells you how exhausting it is to do what I'm doing right now. But anyway, it's like when the CIA programs people to go out and, it's almost like they've got a cookie program that like just programs all the lemmings to go get cookies at a certain time. It could be like 2:15 in the afternoon, and all of a sudden 100 people just decide we're gonna get cookies right fucking now, like, and they don't space it out. They don't like, they don't come in and it's like all 150 people that want cookies. We want our cookies right fucking now. It's 2:27 in the afternoon. Why aren't my cookies done? And then all of a sudden it's dead again. And it's like, I don't understand this shit. It's fucking like at a restaurant, okay, at noon, it's lunchtime. That's when people go eat lunch. That's why they call it the lunch rush. And then you've got from 6 to 8, that's the dinner rush. That's when people go eat dinner. And then sometimes people go in and have a late meal. You might have a mid-afternoon lunch or whatever. But you go to a restaurant at 3 in the afternoon, you're not going to be waiting for a table. You go to a restaurant at noon, you're going to be waiting for a spot to sit. You're going to be waiting in line. I'm talking about in downtown Pittsburgh. If you leave your office at noon to go eat lunch, guess what? Every single restaurant in town where you can get a quick bite to eat is going to have a line going out into the street. But if you wait until 2 in the afternoon to go eat lunch, you're going to have your choice of any place downtown, and you're not going to have to wait in line. You're going to go right in, right out, have your food in hand. But when it comes to the cookie place, it could be like 10:36 in the morning. All of a sudden, like 75 people decide we need a fucking cookie right now. And it's weird, man. It's fucking weird. It's almost like the CIA has some sort of thing and they're just like, go get your cookies now. I'll go get my cookies now. And they all come, whenever it happens, they all come at the same time. It's weird, man. It's weird. And there's no pattern to it. It's the most unpredictable thing I've ever, like, I've said more than one time, I'm like, if you put me in a position where I would have to predict what's going to happen at this business, good fucking luck. Because it's not possible. It's not possible. It's the most unpredictable business I've ever seen in my life. You have the only thing you can predict is that, like, on Valentine's Day, it's going to be slammed because, what was I going to say? Well, obviously all the guys are buying cookies for their women, but I'm not even going to touch. I'm not even going to go down that road. We're just going to change the subject. So, anyway, it got busy randomly. Around 2:15 in the afternoon, it went from like nothing going on to like boom, everybody's there all at once. And then right when it was time for me to leave, went back to nobody being there. And it's just fine. It made the time go by fast, and I'm fine with that. So, and good for them. They got some business. I don't want to see them go out of business. So, what was I going to say? Oh, I mean, the only other thing of note is there's a GameStop right next door to us. And again, today, when I got there were people camped out in the parking lot. A big giant line going out into the parking lot because I guess a new fucking Pokemon card came out. And I'm like, so there's people now that fucking camp out in front of GameStop. Like hundreds of them. Some of them will probably sit out in front of GameStop the whole fucking night just to get a fucking Pokemon card when it comes out. And I'm like, we're all making fun of them here at the bakery, and we're like, man, it's like I felt like a real loser, because like I said, I'm riding into the bakery going, man, I used to make 150 grand a year as a lead software designer for big companies, and now I spent fucking 6 months of my life homeless, couldn't even find a job at McDonald's, and ended up at a bakery making $10 an hour. You might feel like a fucking loser after, if nothing else can make you feel like a loser today, that'll do it. But then I get to the parking lot and I'm locking up my bicycle because I can't afford a car. So I'm riding a bicycle to work. Just another thing to make you feel like a fucking total loser. And there's a line of people who camped out all night to wait for GameStop to open to buy a fucking Pokemon card. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm not such a loser after all. I mean, somebody got me beat. There's 150 people in this parking lot that got me beat. But I'm thinking, I'm scanning to see if there's any cute girls in the line. And I'm like, I've got the perfect pickup line if I can find one. If I can find a good looking girl waiting in line for a Pokemon card, camped out all night waiting for a Pokemon card to come out, might just have to go up to her and say, hey, why don't you send me a link to your Instagram because I want to get a Pikachu. So I'm dying to use it, but I haven't really found you're only going to get one shot with that. You're only going to get one shot because it's not like I can just go down the line and find like 5 cute girls and just go and just repeat the line. You can do that. You can go out to the fucking nightclub and use the same pickup line 60 times in a row. If you get slapped in the face 50 fucking times at the nightclub, but girl number 51 goes home with you, you're a winner. You ended up a winner that night. You got to do what you got to do, but that's not going to work in the line outside of GameStop if I just start going one by one down the line, trying the same pickup line over and over again. You get one shot with that. It is gold level shit. So I'm just gonna say, if I see the right one, boom. I'll get some chick's Instagram so I can get a Pikachu. And then I'm gonna have to fucking go and learn all kinds of shit about Pokemon and all the other monsters and the other bullshit that goes with that stupid ass thing. And I'm gonna have to like do my homework so that if I send her a DM or a text message or whatever, I can pretend that I know something about Pokemon. Because if I don't, then I'm just gonna get, she's probably already got a Tinder profile that says, if you don't play Pokemon, I don't want nothing to do with you. Just like I don't have one right now, but if I did have a Tinder profile, it would say no Democrats. No fucking, no way, no how, no Democrats. Go away. Her profile's gonna say, if you don't play Pokemon, move along. So, because if she's waiting in a fucking parking lot camped out all night because a new fucking Pokemon card came out, that's probably going to be an important thing in her life. And then that's probably going to be something, if I ended up in a relationship with her, I'm going to have to, like, talk about fucking Pikachus, and that's the only fucking one I know. I don't know anything. And the little ball with the dot on it. I don't know. That's all I know about that stupid shit. So I could ask my son. I think he plays Pokemon, or he's I think he knows. I could ask him, like, so what are some of the other creatures? Like, what are the good ones? Like, I could probably ask him. He's 15. He probably knows all about it. But anyway, yeah. I saw 150 people today that told me I am a badass motherfucker. I'm a BAMF. I'm officially a BAMF. A badass motherfucker, also known as a BAMF. I was told. The guy pulled right up next to me, rolled down his window, said to me this morning, I just wanted to let you know you're a badass motherfucker. And then we both went on our merry way. But that's a long time between when I was officially confirmed as a BAMF and I got to the parking lot of my $10 an hour bakery job, while I'm reminiscing about the days when, oh yeah, I remember I used to make 150 grand a year, and I didn't have just one vehicle, I had 3, and all of them were bought used. One of them was $5,000 when I bought it, so it wasn't like I was driving around in fucking Bentleys and shit, but life was better. So I was feeling like a little bit of a loser, but then this badass motherfucker gets to the parking lot and realizes, holy shit, there's 150 people here that camped out all night to buy a fucking Pokemon card. All right. I guess I am a BAMF. Fuck. So anyway, staying at the bakery, busy, and then I leave, and I'm telling you, I kid you not, the cloud, the blob, I checked the radar as I was getting changed, the blob that I was worried about at 2 o'clock had passed, and we were in the tail end of it, because it was raining, and I would have gotten downpoured on. Well, I would have got rained on pretty hard, but when I walked out the door of the bakery, it was sprinkling. And when I got on my bicycle and started riding, it was sprinkling. But the rain stopped within the first half mile of the bike ride. And the sun came out. And it was dry. The roads were dry the whole way home. I didn't even get wet feet. And the whole way home, it was just... And it was a BAMF kind of a ride, because I was 10 minutes faster than my norm. I was riding at my I don't give a fuck pace. I wasn't trying to break records. I wasn't trying to go fast. I was just chilling. But I was listening to Led Zeppelin, so that Led Zeppelin probably subtracted 10 minutes from the total time of the ride just by being the greatest band that ever lived. So that's a handy tip right there. If you want to go for a bike ride and you need to get somewhere 10 minutes faster, put on Led Zeppelin's The Song Remains the Same concert from Madison Square Garden, 1965, I believe it was. You put that on, let that run, you'll get where you're going a lot quicker. No doubt. So Led Zeppelin definitely helped me get home a little bit quicker, but I'm also a certified badass motherfucker, so that helped. But when I got home, that was the end of it. I walked in the door, I felt good, I had good energy, I sat down in the chair. 5 minutes later, I'm like, I need to take a nap. And I went over, crashed for how long was it? Well, what time is it? I can't even. I gotta look. Oh, wow, yeah. It's 2 hours. I took a 2 hour nap. I started watching a video podcast. This guy I like. His name's Richie from Boston. I like this guy. He's a cool dude. I was listening to, he had a new video. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it. For about 2 minutes, I'm out. I'm out. And I woke up like 2 hours later and I still couldn't move, and I finally dragged myself up, and then I realized, oh yeah, gotta do this shit again tomorrow at 5 in the morning. So yeah, nothing gets done. On these bakery days, that's a bust. That's getting up at 5 in the morning, coming back, getting home about 6:15 in the evening, and having just enough energy to go take a nap. And then that nap, I was thirsty. That's what got me up. If it wasn't for the fact that I got thirsty and had to go guzzle some water, I wouldn't have even got up. I would have woke up at 5 in the morning going, crap, I gotta do this again. And I didn't even enjoy part of my day yesterday. So that's the diary of the Badass Motherfucker Diaries, the BAMF Diaries, episode 38. Maybe I'll change my title of the videos starting. Maybe the next video will be the BAMF Diaries, episode 1. We'll see where that goes. I don't know. But I'm a certified badass motherfucker now, according to a guy in a giant pickup truck who I thought I was about to get in a fight with. Right out the gate. I'm like, this guy pulls up next to me, rolls down the window. I'm like, oh, here we fucking go. Right off the bat. I'm like, you couldn't even give me 5 minutes before you all start your shit today. And all he wanted to do was let me know I'm a badass motherfucker. And I'm still like, wow, that was it's about time. It's about time someone with common sense is out on the roads of Houston today. On my way home today, I saw, you see it all. This fucking place is batshit crazy, I'm telling you. It's like a third world country sometimes. There was a guy going down the road, driving some sort of SUV, and he was pulling another, like, old-ass jalopy SUV with a rope. Like, I guess you can just tow another vehicle behind you while you drive around Houston by pulling it with a fucking rope. Just tie a rope around the bumper, tie a rope around your bumper, tie the other end of the rope around the bumper of the car you want to pull around, I guess that's all good down here. I don't, fuck, man. Anything goes in this fucking place. I've never, the only thing crazier I've ever seen is Puerto Rico. And in Puerto Rico, I saw the reverse padiddle. I was driving down a interstate or an inner, whatever the fuck it would be called in Puerto Rico, a major highway at night, and you see a lot of jalopies. They obviously don't got no inspections or none of that. They got, you're in a place where you can be in downtown San Juan walking around and you're gonna see stray dogs everywhere. You see a bunch of tons of stray cats, chickens running through the streets, and I'm not kidding. I saw a stray horse with a rope around its neck, just wandering around. This fucking someone lost their fucking horse. It just had a rope around its neck, and some guy was throwing rocks at it, trying to get it to go away. So that's Puerto Rico. And I'm driving down me and my little girl, my daughter, we're driving down this one highway, and yeah, you see all the jalopies. Like, I saw the reverse padiddle, a car going down a highway at night. A padiddle, for those of you who don't know, is when one of your headlights is out. That's what we used to call it. I don't know if that's a common thing, but somebody be like, you got a padiddle. That means that one of your headlights is out, and you should probably fix that because the police are going to pull you over for that if you don't. So a padiddle is something you want to get taken care of pretty quickly, but the reverse padiddle in Puerto Rico, when I was driving down the highway, I'm looking and there's a red dot up in the distance. I'm like, what in the fuck is that? And but it's moving, and I'm like, what? And as I get closer, I realize it's a fucking car driving down the highway going 80 miles an hour in a dark area. There's no light poles, and the road's not lit up. This is like out in the country. We're traveling across the island to get from one point to the other, and this red dot was the tail light of a car. And I'm looking, the car had no headlights, no lights anywhere on the car. There was one tail light that worked. And they're just flying down the road at like 75 miles an hour like it's nothing. And I'm like, they didn't even have a fucking dude holding a flashlight in the passenger seat so that the driver could see what the fuck was on the road. I mean, it was the reverse. I've never seen anything like that. I would not be surprised if in the next 2 weeks I see a car going down the street in Houston with no headlights, one brake light, and a fucking dude holding a flashlight out the passenger side window. Or maybe the driver holding a flashlight out the fucking driver's side window just so he can see where the fuck he's going. I'm expecting to see that. This place is fucking nuts. I just saw a guy towing a fucking vehicle behind his vehicle by tying a fucking rope to one bumper and tying the other end of the rope to the bumper on the other vehicle. And I guess that's just cool. Like, what happens when you hit the brakes? Who fucking knows? Who fucking knows? I wasn't going to stick around to find out. So, yeah. That's where we're at. Another whole day of this fucking shit tomorrow. And so I don't know, maybe there were some entertaining stories in there. There's definitely I don't have any handy tips for you today. I don't. I'm trying to think of anything useful that I could give you guys that might help you. Have faith the size of a mustard seed. I don't know how to make a mountain move this way and that, or cast a mountain into the sea. But I was able to manipulate the giant rain clouds over Houston to make it not rain today. At least during the windows I needed it to not rain. And I was able to make it sunny. I'm positive I saw the sun. Yeah, I mean, it was sunny. It was sunny. I mean, I saw my shadow. I'm like the groundhog. I saw my own shadow, and here's spring. So, anyway, that was my day. That was episode 38, I believe. I can't keep track of this shit. You haven't even seen episode 36 yet, but I'm already on episode 38, and I'm just gonna, whenever I got some time, I'm just gonna, instead of making a 6 hour long video, I'm just gonna make them smaller and put them out. They're just, whenever they go out, they go out. I don't have, this isn't like when I was homeless and I could just, I had a routine. That's the fucked up thing. I think that's what's bothering me right now. I think that's the thing, like when I talk about how I can't get into a routine that works. That's what's killing me right now. That's the nutshell right there. The 2 weekends in a row where I had to clean the tiny house because the work that the landlord did made a big mess, got dust, and it just completely trashed the place. And then some other things, that does all these disruptive things, plus the bicycling and I can't get into a routine that works. I can't get into a routine. And it's kind of fucked up because I was homeless for 115 days and I had a routine. I had a structured routine. I would get up, eat breakfast, then I would go to the park, record a video, or go somewhere and record a video, go to the library, do that. And yeah, there were some disruptions to the routine. I was going on job interviews and I would have different things to do, and it wasn't an exact routine, but I definitely had way more of a structured routine to life being homeless than I have being homed. Like now life is just complete fucking chaos. And that's a revelation I'm having live in front of this camera. A revelation of life is a lot more chaotic now than when I was homeless, and that's why I'm having such a fucking hard time right now, because I felt like I could get more done and be more productive when I was homeless than I feel like I'm doing right now. And that's the fucked up thing. Like, this shouldn't be this way. So that's what I got to work on. The energy, like every time I go to this bakery and do this 40-mile commute with the work in between, and the following day. So today, tomorrow, and then I get a day off from that. I'm not going to have any energy on that day off. Then I got to do it again. Then the next day, I'm going to have barely enough energy to function, and I can get some basic things done. But it gives me I basically get 2 days a week to try and put life back together. And that's not enough. It's not enough. I can't get the 2 days where I actually have energy to work with is not enough time to do the things that I have to do. It's fucked up, and I can't come home from a 40-mile bicycle commute and an 8-hour day of back-breaking work, and then, I'm going to open up my computer and sit and do freelance work for 6 hours tonight, and then I'm going to get up at 5 in the morning and go do it all again. That's not fucking possible. So I don't know what to do. This wasn't the case when I was living at my friend's house, because the commute to the job was 15 minutes. 15 minutes to the job, work it, come back. That means I'd be home before 5. And I didn't. That is a huge difference. The 40 miles of bicycling versus 10 miles of 5 miles, 15 minutes, boom, you're at work. It's so different. It's so different. that commute, it was more of a hassle to get ready to ride my bike to work, to the point where it felt like it wasn't even worth the time I put in. Because it takes a bit of time to pack the backpack, go through the checklist, make sure everything's in order, make sure the bike's packed and set up right and the bike is ready to go and all those things for a 15-minute bike ride. I'm putting in a half hour to an hour of work to go on a 15-minute bike ride. It just doesn't feel right. But I had energy when I came home. I had energy after that. I could come home and I could do things and I could spend a few hours on the computer at night and I could go to bed at it. Like, now I'm putting in the same amount of time to get ready for the job, but it's an hour. I got to give myself an hour and a half to get there. But I got to leave 2 hours before the shift starts. So that as long as everything goes perfect, I get there a half hour early, which gives me enough time to eat breakfast and get dressed and changed and everything else. But that 40 miles of cycling day after day after day is not, that's the kicker. That's what's doing it. That's what's doing it. Because I could work 3 days a week and have plenty of energy and time when I was living at my friend's house, and it was so I got to find a job. I think I should just, instead of trying to find a job, I think the thing to do now, I've applied to a lot of stuff that I can walk to. There's one area that I could apply to a bunch of stuff at that I could walk to. But the walk would be fucking miserable, so I'm kind of avoiding that area. There's another bakery in the chain a mile away. I filled out an application to that place. I applied to that place within 3 days after moving in here, but I've never heard a word from them. So I don't know if I walked over there in person and introduced myself and said hi. Who knows? Different owner. But I don't want to walk over there. The walk over there is fucking miserable. But I mean, a 5 to 10 minute, well, that would be about a 20-minute walk. That's about a 20-minute walk. But a 20-minute walk wouldn't be so bad. But I think I'm going to start looking for jobs that would be a 15-minute bike ride. 5-mile radius. Make a 5-mile radius and just anything that looks, that would be interesting. Or how about that? Or how about that? Maybe just start doing that. Poke around and do that. Maybe on Sunday. Maybe part of me wants to take Sunday off. But if the weather's nice, I have to do my bicycle tune-ups. So I also would like to go to church. But if the weather is nice, ain't gonna happen. It's gonna be bicycle day. I want to get my second bicycle dialed in, because that will also bring variety to the job. I can get on the other bicycle and look at this, I'm on a new bicycle. Like, that would bring variety to these 40-mile commutes. And if that bike is faster, like if I can shave another 10, 15 minutes off by flying on this road racing bike, that's worth it. So these are the things that I'm trying to process. This coming week, I don't have to do the thing on Tuesday. So I get Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to try and figure out how to fucking get some stuff done and be productive again. But I gotta cut this. I can't be bicycling 200 miles a week to go on to commute to a job. It's just not. Here's the thing. If I had a job If I could find one of these 150 grand a year software design jobs, I'll commute 20 miles to and from the job for a month or two. No problem. But it's not like here's the thing. If it was the only thing I had to do in life was go to this job and come home, go to the job and come home, I could do that. In fact, you could get used to doing that. And fitness wise, it's good for you. You know, there's people that do get up at 4 in the morning to go for a jog. They'll jog 10 miles and then go to some fucking job. And then do who knows what after the fact. I don't even know how. Like, at some point, like, you gotta fucking sleep. But, yeah, I'm almost 50 years old. I mean, it's not like I'm 18 anymore. But even so, it's just, there's no, look at me, man. All I can do is hold this phone and talk. And I just got up from a 2-hour nap. There's no way I can open up my computer, sit down, and do anything productive tonight. And tomorrow, same thing. Because it's going to be the same shit tomorrow. Get up at 5, ride 20 miles, work, ride 20 miles, come home. Feel good when you walk in the door, but you sit down in a chair for 5 minutes, you're out. Out like a fucking, just, it's going to be like Mike Tyson punched me in the face and knocked my ass out. And then Sunday, I'll wake up probably late. Who knows? That's all over the place. But then I've got a limited amount of time to, like I said, if the sun's out and it's not raining and it's dry, and or if it's promising, if the weather's looking like, because I have a covered space that I can go work on the bicycles, so even if it's sprinkling a little bit, if the weather's not total crap and the temperature's good, I can tune both bicycles. I could make that happen tomorrow. I keep thinking it's Saturday. I could make it happen on Sunday. And then I have 2 bicycles that are dialed in, ready to rock, interchangeable, so that I can play around with it and have, I can listen to a new podcast and ride a different bicycle and experience, and just have more variety for the rides. So I don't know. This is where I'm at. Like, my mind is shot. And I'll give you the counts, because I do keep track. I did update my little counter to like, that tells me like how many days it's been since I was released from prison, and how many days I've been in Texas, and all these different things that I kind of just for fun track. I lived at my friend's house from September, October, November. Four and a half months. I've lived in my tiny house for just under 2 months. So a lot changed and a lot happened in the 4.5 months I lived at my friend's house. I got a lot of compared to the day I moved into his house and the day I moved out, I had my shit a lot more together on the day that I moved out of his house than I did on the day I moved in. And in a lot of ways, I have my shit even more together now here than I did February 1st. So, 2 more months of grinding on this, whatever I'm doing right now. I don't know. I don't know, man. There's way more money on the table that I can't collect because I'm constantly putting 90% of my energy and time into something that gives me less than $100 a day. But I could make a month's worth, I could make 3 months worth of bakery pay in 2 weeks if I could just find the fucking 2 weeks to do it. That's what's killing me. But if I just quit the bakery job, then Johnny Law is going to take me back to prison because, oh, you're not meeting, you broke your probation requirements. So, it's just another way this fucking out of control bullshit government wants to fucking hold you down. They would rather see you homeless or stuck working a $10 an hour job than actually being able to make something out of yourself and build something and build your life back together. I truly believe that this system, they don't want you to get your life back. If you get sucked into that legal system, rehabilitation and, and all that. Fuck all that. That's not what they want. They want those private prisons. Even if it's not a private prison, the whole industry around prison is owned by the people that are filling up the beds. They got to keep the beds full. This is the struggle of your life. If you get sucked into that fucking system, they're going to do everything in their power to put you back in that cell. Because they want those beds full. That's how they make their money. So they're not going to, they're going to actively work towards trying to make it so you can't put your life back together. And you've got to basically fight them. And you not only have to fight to put your life back together, you got to fight that fucking system that truly actively wants you to go back to that prison cell so that they can so that they can make, $3 every time you buy a pack of ramen noodles. So anyway, I gotta chill. I gotta go get a drink of water and have a snack or something. I don't know. Some orange juice, I guess. And maybe watch a little telly before I fall asleep and go through this grind again. So that's the end of volume 38. Peace out.